Glad to have you join us now. Let's look at some of the top stories making the rounds. Of course, CBN plans regulatory framework for cryptocurrency. That's, of course, on digital asset investment. Let's have, Charles Fakroha, who has been standing by to talk to us on some of these stories now. Charles Fakroha is iBrandTV analyst. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, the first story, let's start from, the CBN having to create a regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies now. So talk to us about what's your position on this. CBN sometime last year, about 2 years ago now, banned the trading of cryptocurrency. But it looks like the sector, it's about to, go the way of, how do I put it now? Yes, a lot of people are seeing potential in the market now.
Yes, thank you very much. You see, an idea whose time has come, nothing can stop it. I have been one of the advocates by saying, CBN, collaborate with other regulatory agencies and see how you can call these operators of this cryptocurrency together and let everybody come to a round table and see how things can be done to regulate that sector, because we cannot run away from it. It is that where technology is going to. So, and I'm so happy for CBN now coming to that recognition that they need to begin to put regulatory framework for the operation. Because most of all, the fear we have is you don't just allow people to operate in the financial space without some level of regulation. So it's not that CBN is going to be interfering in the operation, but it's going to put some framework. And of course, as agreed by all the stakeholders, so that we will see a transparent, fair, and efficient cryptocurrency markets.
Okay, quickly, because of our time, we have to move on to the next story now. There are concerns about the capital spending, which has been put at 6.46 trillion naira. If you look at the 2023 budget, the total figure there about 21.83 trillion naira for the 2023 expenditure. But the capital spending, it's just 6.46 trillion naira. Now, talk to us how concerned about this, because a lot of people are saying, look, that's too meager compared to what they are spending. The recurrent expenditure looks like it's taking the larger percentage of the 2023 budget.
Yes, that's why, without prejudice to supporting any of the potential aspirants, one of them that is saying we need to go back to production. That is not consuming. You have a budget of almost 22 trillion naira. And they are just using less than 7 trillion for capital expenditure. And this government, this administration is telling us that infrastructure, and that they will need to even borrow money to meet up this, to finance the budget, and it will keep doing infrastructure. That will also stimulate the economy. But we are seeing that some of these borrowings will even go to settle recurrent expenditure. And it is only with capital expenditure that you can kickstart any economy, make it to move and grow. And what you are saying, that amount for me is little, and it will not achieve the desired outcome of a government trying to expand the economy. So it goes to show that, yes, a lot of work went into this budget, but even looking at the revenue part of it, we're already a problem. So, what I think the government should do is to stop leakages, cut leakages, block all those loopholes, so that we can even have enough revenue to even fund some of these projects that we are talking about. So that we need to increase the capital expenditure. We cannot continue, we cannot go with this kind of amount of money and believing that we are going to do something with the economy for this year.
I think we need to jump to number 4 story, which talked about the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, saying that the government is not going back on its, intention for securitizing the ways and means, which is pegged at 23 trillion naira. I mean, what is the implication of these for the economy in 2023? Because the government, as it is, it's not ready to back down.
Yes, of course. The government has made their position. The government is saying, ways and means. Yes, we've been doing the CBN has been funding us. But again, looking at that ways and means, that the money has accumulated to almost 23 trillion. There are regulations as to what you do with ways and means. Ways and means in itself is not bad. But they are saying it's an emergency funding for government projects. Now, that government is supposed to retire it. Government is supposed to pay back before it takes another one. So what has happened? Why the accumulation? And they're even saying the CBN should not even give more than 5% of the previous year's revenue. And you can see that all those provisions has not been followed by CBN. Now, the government is about giving, and they say they want to securitize. That is, they want to package all that debt and make it a tradable securities in the form of a bond, maybe a 40-year bond that they can now sell to investors. Yes, that's a little bit of financial engineering. But there are also benefits to that securitization because it will help the government to decrease cost of funding. You know, because if they are going to pay that ways and means, they're going to pay interest about over ₦1 trillion. And that will also, you know, affect our budget spending. So ways and means, yes, is good. But again, the government has defied so many of the provisions. Even the CBN too, you know, follow their own act. So it's like you are putting us in a tight corner now. Because if you say the National Assembly is saying, no, we want to understand what you're talking about before we go ahead to approve it. The CBN, the Finance Minister is saying, no, we don't have a choice. We just have to securitize. Yes, securitization is just about debt restructuring. It's good. But we are saying moving forward, CBN and of course the government should follow laid down procedures when it comes to using certain instruments to fund the budgets.
Okay. All right. Let's finalize with this outlook for the manufacturing sector. In 2022, the manufacturing sector experienced a lot of challenges from lack of access to Forex, and you also look at the fact that some products were banned as well. Those who are bringing in raw materials, the import bill, you know, went up as high as because of the exchange rate. So talk to us. The LCCI is saying that contribution of the manufacturing sector to the overall GDP may drop in the new year. So how do you think the government can address this quickly?
Well, it's still going back to the basics, you know, and the government should be a bit more open and transparent, and we should have more of economic managers talking to us. The government economists, they should be talking to us as to government policy when it comes to encouraging exports, encouraging manufacturing. Yes, we have seen difficulties in getting forex. We have seen high cost of power in terms to assist manufacturers. A lot of problems. Now, government now trying to say we want to ban certain items. These items that you are going to ban, do we have them a substitute locally? Because it's not just to ban importation of certain, even though they are raw material. Can we source them locally? If we cannot source them locally, then we have no option than to import them. But if we can source them locally, then I think the government is correct to ban those kind of products or raw material as long as we can source them locally. Then the government should be more transparent. We should also look at our revenue side. And the only way we can do that is to block leakages. There is a lot of distrust between the government and the governor. And that is why
let's try to wrap it up
policies they are bringing is difficult to implement.
I think the concern there is that you know, the government will have to address the forest scarcity in the new year so that manufacturers can access you know, that particular segment of the market. But I mean, but again, it's a question or conversation that we need to continue to flog on the show here. Thank you so much, Charles Fakroha, iBrandTV analyst. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Still to come after the break, we turn attention to equities market as the benchmark indicators, jacked up above 51,000 at the close of Wednesday. We'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.